First and 12. A weekly roundup of America's most competitive football conference, the Big 12. Your hosts are Mitch Harper and Alex Kirry.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. It's First and 12. Thanks for being a part of the program today. Hour number 2 of the final episode of this 2025 football season. Alex Kirry, Mitch Harper, thanks for being with us on KSL News Radio this evening. You can also download the podcast wherever fine podcasts are found. All right, Mitch, let's just fire it up here and get right to it. It's elementary at this point. It's all set in stone. We don't have to argue over any of these. Let's jump into our Big 12 Power Rankings, the final one of the season.
The Big 12 Power Rankings, a weekly rank of all 16 programs, from the elite to the bottom dwellers.
Should we start at the bottom?
Sure.
Okay, let's start at the bottom. We know what the bottom is. Number 16, I think they only had 1 week where they were not at the bottom, I think. Oklahoma State.
It was just to punish some other brand, too.
Yeah.
It was just because we were like, hey, West Virginia, you didn't show me something this week. Or, I can't remember what week it actually was.
Ever since that Mike Gundy coaches show before the Oregon week, it was just a mess of a season.
You know what we should have pulled for the Sound Roundup this week is his commercial that he does for Cricket Wireless or whatever.
Consumer Cellular.
Oh, Consumer Cellular.
Yes.
I'm a man, I'm 58, and I enjoy large buttons on my cell phone. Like, the stuff that they got him to do.
Holy cow.
I mean, and then at one point he was stumping for the ice pokes. What did you call them? Yeah, the ice hockey team.
The hockey team.
Listen, I don't know what Oklahoma State's going to look like next year. I don't know how long it's going to take for them to rebuild back up, because you can have success there. And the thing is that the blueprint was there of how to have success. And then Mike Gundy, ironically, was the one who blew it up. He was the guy who kind of built this, hey, we're going to play this hard-nosed, and we're gonna compete recruiting with the biggest programs here, and they did, and they pushed Oklahoma. They made Oklahoma and Texas look bad a couple of times. They were a good football team, and then he did this whole like, man, paying the players, these guys are too privileged and blah blah blah, and then you're like, oh, I think this guy's losing it. And then year after year at Big 12 Media Days, we were like, who's that loner over there with the mullet sitting in the second row who won't talk to the media? And it was Mike Gundy, man. He shut himself out. He didn't want to. He was like, I'm going to do things my way. And people were like, you kind of can't anymore, dude. You kind of can't. So whoever comes in and
are you surprised that
program,
he hasn't been linked to any job?
No.
I kind of thought someone would take a crack at him. Maybe that'll happen in January. Some school says, you know what, let's roll the dice in the group of five.
I think the unfortunate thing is I think even the group of five is not even his style.
Yeah.
It's almost like the FCS level would be something calling his name more, where he's like, give me that JMU, or not JMU, but give me that Montana State job. You know what I mean? Because he wants to go up there and he wants to grind with guys. And then as soon as somebody goes, thank you so much for the opportunity, coach, I just got an offer from Fresno State. And he's like, screw you, buddy. I thought you were committed. And it's just, I don't know, whatever version of the romantic idea of college football that he had in his head, it consumed him, and it became the thing that ended up being his downfall.
I remember, and the last thing before we move on with Oklahoma State, I just remember at Big 12 Media Day, I kind of thought to myself, okay, there's going to be a bounce back a little bit for Mike Gundy, maybe 5-7, maybe 6-6, maybe.
Sure, why not? They'll show some fight.
I remember when he got to the podium and he said, well, I'll be honest, I haven't seen 60 of my guys play at practice. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna go south in a hurry, and it sure did. You know what also went south was Coach Prime and the Buffs. They go from a 9-3 season to 3-9.
Yeah.
Number 15, Colorado. Mess of a year for the Buffs.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to get much better, and I don't know what the future looks like for Prime. I don't know if he's going to stick around. I don't know if his health is going to allow it either. And if you're him, you almost kind of go, hey, man, maybe you do hang it up. Maybe you let Colorado move on. Colorado is going to try to hold on to him as much as they can, because this is the most attention that they've gotten in a long, long time. You think about the flurry of activity that they had over the past 24 months in Boulder, and a Heisman Trophy winner, and a draft pick quarterback, and all
two
those
retired
things.
Numbers.
No, okay, that's quite wild.
Yeah, I had to bring it.
You know,
Hunter belongs, but
yeah, but even then, it's like do it in 12 years. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, bottom line is Colorado can't deny that those guys had a lot of success compared with what they were having, and I think they're going to go back to obscurity if they don't get the right name in there, if they don't get the right person in there. I just don't think it's going to be Prime much longer.
Number 14, the Kansas Jayhawks. We kind of hit on it earlier with them. Lance Leipold, he's really regressing in that spot. And Jalen Daniels exits with kind of a disappointing season, really unfortunate.
And you know what? And it's sad to say, but I think it's probably for the best for everybody, right? Like
they need a reset.
They need a reset, and they need to stop talking about Jalen Daniels bringing them success, and Lance Leipold needs to hang his hat on the resources that they have now, because they have them. You should not be in the resources that they have and be 14th in this league and finish behind West Virginia, who's 13th. Rich Rod, first year, okay. That's about probably, I think, what we thought may have happened. They had highs and lows. They beat Pitt in the backyard brawl. How many conference wins did they get? 2 then? 1? They had
2-7.
Okay, so they went 2-7.
4-8 overall.
About what I think we probably should expect from them. Baylor goes 5-7. They're number 12 in the final power rankings here. And just as disappointing as anything else in the conference, I think, this year. And Dave Aranda's getting retained. I want to see what that looks like. I want to see, if they're going to get the coaching search going on mid-season next year. They're going to get early into this thing, or how that works. I think Dave Aranda's a super talented coordinator. I just don't think he's got it at Baylor.
You knew it's bad when the school president, who, because no AD at Baylor, she sends out an email blast to all the boosters and donors saying, now, I know this decision's going to create some strong opinions. You know it's not good when they're sending out that sort of messaging. Number 11, the UCF Knights, Scott Frost in his first year. I think a respectable 5-7. I don't think there's much to write home about with the Knights. What's just crazy about them is that a few years ago, they branded themselves as, quote, the future of college football. There's nothing futuristic about UCF in this league, and they're just kind of a afterthought at many moments in this conference.
As one of my kids asked the other day, Dad, was this a space team that was wearing the space uniforms earlier in the year? I said, yeah. And I think it's kind of they're not necessarily into the space future yet, but I do think that Scott Frost, he's going to get things going down there. I think that this team is going to figure some stuff out. They are in a place where they could recruit the heck out of the state of Florida, and they could compete immediately, which is what they did to have success back in that 2017 season, which #national champs UCF. Don't worry about it. Next up on the list, and again, add this to another team of surprises. How about Kansas State at number 10, a team that at the beginning of the season started off in the national rankings in the low 20s in the AP poll. That shows you how. I was bummed because I think that. I think you get what you get with some of these other coaches and where they were at. It just didn't match with, I think, the toughness and the type of coaching you normally get out of Coach Chris Kleiman. And I wondered, when you saw them all choked up at Utah and how disappointing that was when they couldn't get the win there, it was a bummer because I think that's a guy who belongs in this conference and is good for Kansas State.
And when you saw Avery Johnson's dad fighting with fans and brothers at week 0, it was a mess of a year. And lesson to Brett Yormark in the Big 12 and the K-State AD, don't schedule a conference game over the pond. Again, do not do that.
If it's Brazil, I'll allow it.
Okay,
no, I'm just kidding.
Brazil,
don't do
yes.
It either.
I'm all for that. But in Ireland, that was a mess because
don't do it.
Number 9, Cincinnati, they just bottomed out. 4 in a row losses. They finished 7-5. Number 8, TCU. So underwhelming. They finished at 8-4. I thought they were going to be much better. Number 7, the other team that was in that Ireland game, Iowa State. They didn't live up to expectations either. They finished at number 7.
8-4 on the year for them, and that was disappointing. They went on that 3-game losing streak in the middle of the season that did not help. And I think obviously that was a team that And speaking of teams that disappointed, I think a little bit, and another one who was in that conference championship game last year, Arizona State, number 6. They finished 8-4 on the year. And then here come the surprises. Houston at number 5 at 9-3 on the year. Willie Fritz and his guys, we talked about it last hour. Awesome job this year. I think Arizona was as impressive as anybody. Bretton Brennan, good for him. I was glad to see Noah Fafita, who's going to go out, I think, on a super high note there at Arizona as well. They go 9-3. They could finish with double-digit wins with a bowl win. Utah 10-2 on the season, 7-2. Great turnaround for Coach Witt and his guys there up in Salt Lake City. BYU coming back and improving on even a great year last year. After the mess that Jake Retzlaff, that whole situation was, there's part of me that goes, BYU gets the win in the Big 12 championship game, and Tulane wins the American, and then Jake Retzlaff has got to play at LaVell Edwards Stadium on December 19th.
Goodness gracious!
Come on, sign me up for that kind of drama.
That's cinema.
It could be.
That's cinema.
Could be. And then finally, number 1, Texas Tech. Man, they were good, and they've been good, and they're going to be good, I think, for a long time. And they've got all the things, like I said, and more importantly, they've got that head coach, Joey McGuire. I think you and I both like that guy.
Yeah, it's a fun league, and you just look at all the different twists and turns of all these teams, and that's the makeup of the Big 12 in 2025, and the final game will take place this weekend in the Big 12 title as BYU takes on Texas Tech. We'll preview that game coming up a little bit later here in the program. Next, we'll get to the state of college football coaching and the craziness around the sport. Here it's 1st and 12 here on KSL.